Hey everyone, last time we talked about the original gravity differential counteraction principle, the golden age of explosive scientific breakthroughs back in the 1950s and 60s, and how corporate elites deliberately slammed the ceiling over fundamental physics. Lots of you left comments feeling chilled to the bone, saying it turns out humanity isn't incapable of developing anti-gravity technology. Certain powerful forces are just actively holding us back. But what I'm about to tell you is only the tip of the iceberg. Energy monopolization is merely the first step. Everything from the air you breathe daily, the food you eat, what illnesses you develop, the medicine you take, and even your lifespan is tied into this same profit-driven network. Stick around if you're curious. Today we're unpacking these earth-shattering classified records, connecting every dot: energy conglomerates, pharmaceutical capital, academic suppression, weather modification weapons, and anti-gravity tech. By the end, you'll understand why free, unlimited energy and anti-gravity research remain locked away in top-secret labs. These innovations threaten far more than a single industry. They dismantle the core system through which elite corporations exploit all of humanity. Global energy conglomerates, the masterminds behind a century of suppression. Let's start at the root. Every crackdown on free energy and anti-gravity technology traces back to the same group of power players. Global fossil fuel cartels led by the Rockefellers and Morgans. Their playbook dates all the way back to Nikola Tesla's era. And while their tactics have grown subtler over 100 years, their core agenda never shifted. Over a century ago, when Nikola Tesla invented wireless power transmission and a device capable of harvesting zero-point vacuum energy, the Morgan banking empire immediately sensed an existential threat. They funded Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, banking on a profitable transatlantic radio telegraph business. But once they learned Tesla intended to deliver free wireless electricity to every household, eliminating power lines and utility bills entirely, they pulled all funding, demolished the tower, and buried every scrap of Tesla's research. Public narratives only painted him as a reclusive, eccentric scientist who invented alternating current, erasing his revolutionary energy work entirely. From that point on, energy cartels enforced an ironclad rule. Any technology capable of breaking fossil fuel monopolies must be snuffed out in its infancy. After 100 years of refinement, their multi-layered suppression system operates with seamless precision. 1. Control academic discourse. They fund universities, establish physics departments, and set standardized textbooks. Theories that reinforce an unbreakable energy ceiling, such as relativity and Newtonian gravity, are canonized as undisputed truth, while ether theory, zero-point energy, and anti-gravity are branded pseudoscience. If you try to submit an anti-gravity research proposal at a legitimate university physics program, your project will be rejected outright and you'll risk failing to graduate. 2. Dominate patent offices. Any patent application related to free energy or anti-gravity faces two fates: outright rejection on the grounds of violating established physical laws, or confidential seizure under national security pretexts, locked away forever. Independent inventors pour years of work into breakthrough prototypes, only to have their research seized by military labs, while the creators themselves are silenced. 3. Cut off all funding streams. Government research grants and private venture capital alike fall under their sphere of influence. Investing in anti-gravity or free energy ventures means clashing with the entire corporate establishment, resulting in collapsed funding and total professional ruin. 4. Media smear campaigns. Whenever independent inventors release breakthroughs or expose hidden technologies, corporate-controlled media outlets launch coordinated attacks. Innovators are labeled amateur frauds, and their work is dismissed as alien conspiracy theories, convincing ordinary people to write these discoveries off as nonsense without deeper investigation. The geocentric auroral energy, metamaterial zero-point power generators, and weather modification weapons we covered in our previous 2 episodes are all products of this system. Technologies useful for warfare or corporate exploitation receive billions in annual research funding from militaries and conglomerates. Innovations that benefit ordinary people and break monopolies are completely blacklisted. Take metamaterials as an example. Billions pour into developing stealth aircraft and climate manipulation tech each year, yet zero research funding exists for civilian power generation applications. 2. A chilling truth. Chronic illness is also a corporate profit machine. At this point, many of you might wonder, it's just energy monopolization, so why do elites fight tooth and nail against anti-gravity and free energy? The profits extend far beyond fossil fuels and power grids. If unlimited clean energy became mainstream, the oil and power industries would collapse overnight, and right behind them, the entire healthcare sector, an even more lucrative market, generating hundreds of trillions in annual revenue, built entirely on human sickness. Let's break down the plain logic. Why have rates of cancer, chronic conditions, and respiratory illnesses skyrocketed in modern times? The root cause is universal pollution stemming from fossil fuel consumption. Coal and gasoline combustion spew toxic emissions into the air. Chemical manufacturing poisons water supplies and soil. Even the grains and vegetables we eat rely on fertilizers and pesticides derived from petrochemicals. These contaminants accumulate in the human body over time, triggering a wide range of severe illnesses. Imagine what would happen if zero-point clean energy and geothermal power became universally accessible. Coal power plants and gasoline vehicles would be phased out entirely, eliminating the primary sources of industrial pollution. Air, water, and soil would gradually recover to pure, natural states. Without constant toxic exposure, the human body's innate regenerative capabilities would reawaken, drastically reducing chronic illnesses and sending cancer rates plummeting. This isn't even the most transformative effect. Zero-point energy fields themselves possess restorative properties for the human body. The low-pressure energy bubbles inside anti-gravity craft consist of high-frequency, pure energy fields. Prolonged exposure to this environment repairs human cells and supercharges immune function, allowing many ailments to heal naturally without pharmaceutical intervention. An independent researcher named Taidan discovered this decades ago during zero-point energy experiments. Plants growing near his equipment grew several times faster than ordinary specimens, and open wounds healed at a drastically accelerated rate. Think about the ramifications. If everyone had access to free, clean energy and zero-point restorative environments, sickness would become rare. Hospitals would lose patients, pharmaceutical companies would see plummeting drug sales, and the entire industrial complex of vaccines, medical checkups, and wellness supplements would crumble. Hundreds of trillions in yearly healthcare profits would vanish instantly. This explains the bizarre alliance we witness today. Energy giants and pharmaceutical conglomerates operate as one entity, despite appearing to belong to separate industries. They jointly fund academic research, control mass media narratives, and suppress disruptive breakthrough technologies. Energy cartels manufacture pollution and artificial energy scarcity. Pharmaceutical cartels profit from treating the resulting illnesses and capitalizing on public health anxiety. Their coordinated operations form a flawless cycle of exploitation. Simply put, corporate elites aim to profit from every aspect of human life: your energy bills, transportation costs, medical expenses, and emergency life-saving treatments. Every stage of your existence, from birth to death, daily commutes to hospital visits, is monetized for their gain. Free unlimited energy and anti-gravity technology would shatter all their revenue streams at once. That is why these innovations must be suppressed. They don't merely threaten a single patent. They upend the fundamental power structure through which corporations control human survival. They would rather let humanity suffer from pollution-induced diseases and drain our savings on medical care than allow universal access to free, clean, healing energy technology. 3. The complete horrifying exploitation cycle. Now let's weave all these threads together to reveal how impenetrable this multi-layered profit network truly is. 1. Base layer. Energy monopolization. Oil, natural gas, and power grids control all industrial and civilian energy supplies. generating their first stream of profit by manufacturing artificial energy scarcity. 2. Second layer, transportation and industrial control. Gasoline vehicles, commercial aircraft, and rail systems all rely on fossil fuels. Corporations profit a second time from transit costs, while leveraging regional energy disparities to manipulate housing prices for further exploitation. 3. Third layer, healthcare exploitation driven by pollution. Widespread fossil fuel contamination creates a constant supply of sick people. Hospitals, pharmaceutical firms, wellness brands, and diagnostic clinics generate perpetual third-string profits, an endless business model sustained as long as pollution persists. 4. Fourth layer, targeted exploitation via weather weapons. Aerosol-laden metamaterials enable climate manipulation, triggering floods, droughts, and heat waves. Conglomerates profit from surging commodity prices for grain and construction materials, then cash in on post-disaster infrastructure rebuilding. They simultaneously blame extreme weather on global warming to cover up their secret climate technology. 5. Top layer, control over academia and public opinion. Elites dictate what qualifies as legitimate science and what is labeled pseudoscience. They condition the public to accept fossil fuels as humanity's only energy option, dismiss anti-gravity as science fiction, and view chronic sickness as an unavoidable normalcy, locking human perception from the inside out, so society submits to exploitation willingly. Free unlimited energy, paired with anti-gravity technology, alone has the power to dismantle this entire system. Free energy collapses the foundational energy monopoly. Widespread anti-gravity travel erases transportation monopolies and eliminates regional wealth gaps. Eradicated pollution strips the healthcare industry of its core customer base. Public awareness of weather modification weapons exposes the false narrative of man-made global warming. This explains why every independent inventor who pursues this research, from Tesla to Titan, from the developer of metamaterial power generators to the engineer behind anti-gravity prototypes, faces identical suppression tactics. Their technology isn't flawed. They've disrupted the profit model of the entire corporate establishment. This isn't unfounded conspiracy theory. It's cold, transparent profit logic. A combined annual industry value exceeding quadrillions of dollars spanning energy and healthcare cannot permit a single technology to undo its entire operation. 4. Independent pioneers, the truth within reach for ordinary people. At this point, many of you will ask, after all this, is there any way regular people can access this technology today? Are independent researchers still carrying this work forward? The answer is yes. Decades of corporate suppression have never fully extinguished grassroots innovation. Many scientists from the 1950s and 60s refused to abandon their research after facing suppression. They secretly preserved manuscripts, blueprints, and experimental data, circulating these documents privately among independent creators. The researcher Haiwa, whom we've referenced before, is one such trailblazer. After successfully building a magnetic anti-gravity prototype, he anticipated corporate attempts to seize his invention. He split the complete simplified prototype blueprints into dozens of fragments, hiding them across multiple locations to pass down to future innovators. This simplified design requires no military-grade metamaterials. Ordinary copper coils, capacitors, high-voltage modules, and readily available civilian hardware are enough to construct a small levitation test unit. While it lacks the power to carry human passengers, it visibly demonstrates the gravity differential counteraction principle. And this demonstration is what corporate elites fear most. If everyday citizens can build functional miniature anti-gravity devices at home, the false gravitational narratives taught in textbooks will crumble instantly. Beyond grassroots blueprints, thousands of original experimental records from the 1950s and 60s have gradually surfaced online. Vintage photographs of military anti-gravity trials, lab logs, and first-hand testimonies from retired aerospace engineers are slowly uncovering the truth. The vast majority of historical UFO sightings referenced in mainstream media are actually military test flights of classified anti-gravity craft. From Nazi Germany's flying saucer programs to America's Project Rainbow and the Philadelphia experiment, to Soviet anti-gravity research, humanity crossed the threshold of interstellar travel more than half a century ago. For decades, corporations buried this reality under two convenient labels: alien encounters and pseudoscience. That wraps up part 1 of our series on anti-gravity and unlimited energy. We've uncovered locked-away scientific truths layer by layer: endogenous geocentric auroral energy, the dual hidden agendas of metamaterials, the mechanics of climate manipulation weapons, the foundational principle of gravity counteraction, and today's sprawling cross-industry exploitation network spanning energy, healthcare, and public discourse. In our next episode, we'll shift to an entirely new paradigm and dive into paradigm-shifting consciousness science. If human thought can directly alter physical matter and reshape reality, what tactics have elite powers used to seal away humanity's innate mental capabilities? Also, if this video gains over 1,000 likes, we'll release follow-up content on anti-gravity and free energy. We'll break down the simplified anti-gravity prototype blueprints left by Haiwa, explain whether regular people can replicate miniature levitation units using civilian parts, and declassify original 1950s 60s military anti-gravity experimental archives to reveal just how advanced human technology became during that golden age of innovation. Thank you all for your support. Subscribe to unlock more suppressed scientific truths. We'll continue the anti-gravity series soon, and join us for the consciousness science episode. See you there.